Good evening and welcome to News Night. I'm Madhavdas Gopalakrishnan. The top story that we are discussing today is a standoff over the army insignia sported by Mahendra Singh Dhoni, which has gotten bigger. Now, despite the growing outrage across the country over ICC's move to ask Dhoni to take off the Balidan Badge of his glove, the ICC has refused to back down. Instead, they've asked BCCI to prove that the dagger emblem is not military symbolism. However, the BCCI has made it clear that they will back Dhoni to the hilt and have asked ICC to even reconsider its decision.
You see, when we took the caps issue also, we had written to ICC for permission and they gave it. This is not a problem at all. It's nothing important.
Ma'am, what is Dhoni on this particular issue?
No, we haven't spoken to the team at all.
This was completely suo moto by the CEO that you need to back the...
Yes, we'll back him to the hilt. We'll back him to the hilt. Any Indian player for that matter, we will back. BCCI is there for cricket and cricketers.
BCCI या कोई भी खेल संगठन जो स्पोर्ट्स फेडरेशन होते हैं उस पे सरकार हुक्म नहीं चलाते हैं। वर्ल्ड कप में जो घटना हुआ उसमें भारत के साख से जुड़ा हुआ जो बात सामने में आया, मैं ये कहना चाहता हूँ कि बीसीसीआई उसको अपने लेवल से अच्छी तरह से उसको टेकअप करे आईसीसी के साथ और भारत में जनता का जो भावना है उसको ध्यान में रखते हुए अपने पक्ष है उसको अच्छी तरह से रखे। महेंद्र सिंह धोनी का जो एक अपना एक पहचान है, वो देश का एक पहचान है, हमारे सेना का एक पहचान है, वो कोई राजनीति नहीं है।
All right, joining us on the broadcast are our guests. With us is Colonel Mahendra Singh. He's, of course, a security expert, a defense analyst. Vedam Jaishankar is with us on this broadcast. He's a senior sports journalist. And also with us is Vishal Uppal. He's a former tennis player for India. Let me begin with you first, Vedam. We have been discussing this issue now for a while. The fact is this, that at some level or the other, there have been precedents in the past where Team India, for instance, recently wore the fatigue caps. If that wasn't a problem, why should the ICC be making a big deal of this?
Army fatigue cap and this. First and foremost, when the army fatigue cap was used, the BCCI sought permission from ICC and ICC granted that permission as a sort of a fundraiser for the army. That was fine. But what you have delivered now is a fait accompli. You've already used it and now you're saying we'll continue using it and this is a fait accompli, which actually is wrong. My bigger concern is I am a great fan of Mahendra Singh Dhoni and I've covered many of his matches. But in this crucial game, you know, we have gone to the World Cup to win the World Cup and not make some sort of a drama over there. Do we need to be distracted like this? Mahendra Singh Dhoni should be focused and use every bit of his energy to ensure that India wins the World Cup. And that way he has to rally all the players around him. Does he need this distraction? He probably didn't mean this to be a controversy, but it has ended up being a controversy. And being the senior statesman, he should actually withdraw and not ensure that his focus, his purpose of in this World Cup is not swayed or diverted by whatever extraneous means or whatever his issues, his passion are. That, I think, is the big thing for Mahendra Singh Dhoni.
Well, there are several aspects. There are several aspects of what you said, which in fact we'll be debating through the course of this debate, Vedam Jaishankar. But I want Colonel Mahendra Singh to comment on this. Colonel Mahendra Singh, do you think that this entire controversy takes away from the cricket, as Vedam Jaishankar is pointing out? Your response to him?
No, in your previous program, I had said that I suspect that this is a handiwork of Pakistanis well, you know, in your subsequent program, it has been vindicated that yes, they are the ones who have directly raised the objection. And, you know, the world would not have taken notice of it. And as I told you in the previous program also that even 90% of the Indians, even that may be an exaggerated figure, do not know what this emblem actually signifies. So it is just making a mole out of a, you know, mountain out of a mole. And let me tell you, I am again telling you, you have a sports journalist here I may submit to him that I am given to all the basic emotions and instincts. And let me remind you, sir, I remember that Bill Laurie's team in '69, the way, he hurled racial abuses and beat journalists and photographers with bats. I remember how Sudhir Naik was wrongly framed for stealing socks. He was contemplating suicide. I remember how Pakistanis used to jeer that Indians cannot be fast bowlers because they are vegetarians. I have seen all kinds of symbolism, sir, to put India down. I have seen this, this erstwhile colonial masters. So I love this aggression. I love this aggression on Dhoni's part. We are on an inflection point as far as nation building is concerned. I love it, and the whole country, I'm sure, will back Dhoni. I'm sure I'll back Dhoni. Sports is just not sports. India is not there for the financial health of international ICC. Let me remind, there is a purpose. If we have arrived here at a point where we can determine the financial health of the ICC, so be it. We'll go by the rules, but we will not sway to what Pakistan wants.
Well. Some very, very interesting and very important points that have been made there by Colonel R.S. Singh. And before I go across to Vishal, who's incidentally very proudly sporting the tricolour on his chest, I want to get in a response from Vedam Jayashankar on this. Vedam, how far do you see this, as a sign or an attempt to try and perhaps intimidate Team India, play some kind of mind games, as Colonel R.S. Singh seems to be suggesting by raising these sorts of issues, which incidentally, and I'm going to be pointing out through the course of this program, there have been several examples of in the past as well.
Well, the examples of the past that he quoted, I don't think it really holds much water, because India has moved along. It's a superpower, as probably he correctly said, that it's a superpower as far as cricket is concerned. So these examples really don't matter. That is in the past. But let's understand first and foremost, what is the focal point of this? The ICC has got certain rules. What you can use, what you can't use. Did Mahendra Singh Dhoni use this knowing fully well what would be the consequences? I'm not so sure that he is very innocent as far as this is concerned. He might have decided that he wants to pay back the regiment in such a way that, it gets noticed. But the fact is, it is virtually disrupting your thought process. You are supposed to be working towards a victory, not doing things like this. And that's where I think the biggest flaw is. Let's forget about all this, having a chip or a boulder on your shoulder. Let's just focus on what we are supposed to do. The primary objective, like any military men would say, the primary objective is to win the war. Winning the war is what? Winning this battle against Pakistan, Australia, England. You can show them their true place only when you win. And for that, you need to be focused. Like I said earlier, we have an example from the Mahabharata where Dronacharya tells Arjuna to shoot only when only he can see the eye of the bird. All the others can see all sorts of things, the sky, the trees and other things. Only Arjuna can see only the eye. What it really signifies is that's the amount of focus you need. The game has changed. You need to be focused to win the game, and the least distractions that are there is what is required to win the game. Dhoni has gone there with a specific purpose for winning the World Cup, and he should ensure that he does everything possible to ensure that he is on the winning side.
All right, before I go back to Colonel R.S., I want to bring in Vishal on this. Vishal, the question that's being asked is this, that, at the end of the day, Colonel R.S. Singh talks about, aggression. It's an aggressive team, India, and he, as with many Indian fans today, are backing MS Dhoni to the hilt. Even the BCCI is backing him when it comes to taking up this matter with the ICC. But I have a slightly different take on this. I would say that what if that Balidan badge is something that inspires MS Dhoni? Sports is 90% perspiration, 10% inspiration, say people. As a sports person, why shouldn't he be allowed to have something that inspires him on the sports field?
Yeah, good evening, everyone. First and foremost, I'd like to wish the Indian team all the very best at the World Cup. I hope they win and bring laurels to our country, so good luck for that. You know, just to go on this debate, you know, whether it's right for MS Dhoni to wear a Balidaan, symbol on his glove or not, is up for the ICC and the BCC to figure out whether the rules permit it, they don't permit it. Is it a political statement, not a political statement? But one thing I'd like to just add here, what I would definitely like to see is the Indian cricket team wearing this tricolor on the front of every jersey. They're representing India, and I think this tricolor should definitely be there. And to a point that the one of the panelists made, I don't think we should trivialize this to an India-Pakistan debate. I think the Indian team has gone there for a far bigger purpose, which is to win the Cricket World Cup for India. And let's not give so much importance to Pakistan and, let it be. Resolve this. Every athlete looks for inspiration in one way or the other. We've seen it across all sports, be it soccer, they'll wear a jersey underneath it, underneath their playing jersey to, give out a message of any kind. So I think this can be done in a better way, where you can make the point you want to make. Without getting distracted, and you know what, I think if this fires up the Indian team to a great extent, I'm all for it.
Yeah, but the question is, Vishal, what if this is not, aimed at anyone else or proving a point, but just aimed at, oneself and just inspiring oneself, or as a sportsman who's represented the country on the field? Nothing works like this sort of inspiration, isn't it, Vishal?
Yeah, well, you have to also remember that a team of 11 people is 11 individuals coming together. So if that is MS Dhoni's way of inspiring himself, well, let it be. What I would really like to see is the Indian cricket team wearing the Indian tricolour on their T-shirt jersey right up front. So the world knows that we're one unit, we're fighting for one cause. And yeah, every individual can have a little bit of his own inspirational work if he wants to, and have it camouflaged in subtle ways, whatever they want to do. But as a team, I think everyone has to be together, and like I said, I'd really love to see the Indian cricket team have the Indian tricolour.
Okay. I want Vedam to respond to that. Vedam, there you have another player come out and say that what's wrong if something actually inspires him? What's wrong if that actually works for him on the field? Because it is 11 individuals who will obviously have their own thought processes, will have their own preferences, and that clearly, of course, if it works for MSD, why not allow it?
Yeah, but see, the problem is ICC has got a different meaning and a different understanding of what logos are. You can't say that, they have a logo for the leading arm. It's mentioned specifically what is the ICC logo, what is the BCCI logo, what is the sponsor's logo, where can it be worn, is it to be worn in the trousers or on the crest or on the leading shoulder or on the cap. Everything is laid out. You can turn around and say tomorrow that somebody like MS Dhoni can tattoo the logo onto his arm.
Yes.
But then ICC is well within its right to ask him to cover up the tattoo. So it's not allowed. It's not that 11 different players can't say this is what inspires me and go around wearing 11 different insignias or logos. I have nothing against the logo. In fact, it's great that MS Dhoni is trying to bring that out. It is open. But my fear is he will end up lowering the value of that logo. I will not be surprised if I see that logo printed on T-shirts, on caps, and on bags and other things, and sold on the streets. Is that what we want to do?
What's wrong with that, Vedam? What's wrong with that?
We respect our special forces, and we'd like to see it remain as some sort of a thing that
Okay.
Not something that is cheapened by people wearing it.
Vishal, I see your hand going up, but I want Colonel Arison to take that question. Colonel Arison, if tomorrow we see T-shirts, if we see caps, if we see tattoos with a Balidaan insignia, will that be lowering the dignity of that insignia or raising it, in your view?
See the proper badge as such, you have to earn it. And I mean, only those who earn it, put it on a uniform. But replica of it, if a young boy or a girl wears it, I have no issues, because if you are inspired by Balidaan, I can tell you, I mean, that is what is required in this country. I mean, look at the whole thought process behind this kind of a thing. I don't think so. It means any kind of. I have seen Indians wearing, T-shirts U.S. Army. Can you beat it? So it is better to wear this Balidaan emblem than to U.S. Army or even say USPA or something. So that is another issue. But coming back to the point. We all know that the India-Pakistan content in this whole World Cup is very, very crucial, and it is very, very critical to the health of of international cricket. And why it is critical? Because it generates a lot of funds, money. Why it generates money? Because there is a history of hostilities between India and Pakistan, not on cricket, not necessarily on cricket. Otherwise, so you can't take away this fact. From the international environment does impinge on sports. For how long people we boycotted South Africa? And as far as somebody was talking about tattoo, I don't want to bring any the religious factor, what tattoo it can be, but you can't ask somebody to cut off his hands. Say if it is prescribed that you will wear a half sleeve T-shirt and somebody has a particular religious tattoo, will the ICC ask him to cut off his hands? And then if that be the case, then I can tell you, then by imagery, we have seen many, terrorist lookalikes on the field, right?
Okay. Let's not get into that debate. That's something. Yes, no, Colonel Harrison. That's something that actually has been debated in the past. It's actually been an issue. I don't want to bring in that aspect of the debate. Yes, but you made an important point. You made an important point. How far will it go? How far will it go? I think you've raised an important point, and I want to take that question up to Vishal as a sports person. Vishal is joining us on this panel. Vishal, where does this end, and how far will we go? If a tattoo also has to be covered up or something else has to be done to it, how far can sports bodies and sports laws actually cover this kind of messaging and something that, as you're saying, is a symbol of aggression or inspiration or what have you?
Yeah, I'd like to firstly agree with my journalistic friend who said that there are very specific laws and rules about logos and what you can have on your T-shirts and not have on your T-shirts. It is very standard across all sports. If I were to wear my India jersey and I have a logo on it which is not permitted by the rules, they'll have me remove the jersey. This is a standard rule that everyone must follow. To be honest, to the Colonel's point, sir, with due respect, you're an army man, you understand rules and how to follow them. Now, if tomorrow if a soldier is inspired by cricket and he wants to put a logo on the army uniform of a cricket emblem, would you permit that? You will not permit that because it's laid down by the rules. There are a set of rules which have to be followed. If MS Dhoni wants to feel inspired personally, he could have had that emblem on his inner glove, or somewhere where it's very personal to him and he doesn't have to show it to the world, because the whole idea is about following rules. Now, if every country, every player from every country, every nation, somebody tomorrow puts a photograph of his girlfriend on his T-shirt and say, well, she inspires me, so will that be acceptable? No, it's not going to be acceptable. So I think personal inspiration must be kept very personal. The rules are the rules; they must be followed because they're standard for everybody. And again, I'd again like to say this: please, let's not trivialize everything to an India-Pakistan debate. We're a far greater country, far superior country. Let's not keep getting Pakistan into every debate and treating them as if
Vishal,
with due respect, that there are equals.
No, absolutely. I don't think anyone here on this panel. I don't think anyone on this panel thinks they're equals.
Win the World Cup.
I don't think that's even a point of debate in the sense that I don't think anyone on this panel would even venture to think that they're equals. But
India versus Pakistan, biggest game, this game. Yes, it's a big game. It's an emotive game for all of us. When we played Pakistan in Davis Cup in 2005 in Mumbai, I can tell you, all of us did not want to lose that game to Pakistan.
Absolutely.
Having said that, there is a far greater purpose that this team has gone with to England, which is to win the World Cup. not just to beat Pakistan. That is, of course, one of the big objectives of this team.
Well,
but the bigger objective is to win the World Cup for India.
Yeah.
And let's go ahead, focus our energies on that, and let's make that happen.
I have a couple of questions for Vedam, but before I go across to Vedam, I want to quickly bring in Colonel Arasan Singh on this. Yes, Colonel Arasan Singh, your hand was going up. You want to quickly respond to what Vishal was saying?
No, I was just saying if Shahid Afridi after a game he brings up the Kashmir issue, it does impact.
Yes.
It does impact.
I was going to come to that point exactly.
The second thing, nobody has said that we don't follow the ICC. My only submission is that the BCCI must contest it very, very fiercely with the ICC on this issue, because at worst it may lie in a gray area, isn't it?
Right.
So but Dhoni should stick by his decision.
Okay. I want to bring in. I have about 3 such examples, Vedam, and I want Vedam Jaishankar to respond to this. I'll let you first respond to the charge that Colonel Arasan Singh is making, that when Shahid Afridi refers to the Kashmir issue on an ICC platform, how is that acceptable, Vedam Jaishankar? I mean, I'm not even going to get into who has complained. That's something that Colonel Arasan Singh has certainly said is being reported on. Without getting into that debate, isn't that also a violation of the ICC norms about political messaging on a platform of the ICC, Vedam?
Absolutely, he cannot do that, and I don't know when he has done it. I think he has done it outside the playing arena. But let me take you back to some of the other issues that have taken place. At the Mexico Olympics, 3 black Americans gave the black salute. They were sent back home after winning. On the victory stand, they gave the black salute. It's not acceptable. When India was playing Pakistan in Canada, those Sahara Trophy ties, they were Khalistani flags, and that was not acceptable. Those spectators were sent out. So let's not mix issues.
But Vedam, I want to just bring in two other issues. Vedam, I'm sorry if I can interrupt you. We're almost out of time, so I want to very quickly bring on these 2 issues. One is of the English cricketers wearing the poppy emblem in remembrance of Martyrs' Day, and another is in fact of a commando salute by the West Indian team. These 2 were very clearly military symbols. Many would argue political symbolism as well, that have been worn or sported by cricketers on the cricketing field. If the ICC did not object to them then, why are they objecting to the Balidaan symbol now? Vedam.
Well, as far as the West Indies is concerned, it was only Cottrell who was doing it. It's not the full West Indies team who was doing it. That was his way of celebrating. We're not worried about that at all. You are looking at somebody who's carrying a logo which he is not supposed to carry. He's supposed to carry logos or wear logos as per ICC regulations. And here is Dhoni doing something else. Now, if BCCI is going to ask ICC for permission after the act, and I think that you will also agree that you cannot have this kind of fait accompli, saying that, yeah, we've used it, so now we're asking for permission. Now, that's not done. As far as the army fatigues were concerned, you asked for permission earlier and permission was granted. Let's not kid ourselves. I mean, our job is there to go out there and win the World Cup. And every bit of your energy, your focus must be dedicated to that. We do not want controversies. Okay. Anything which will distract you from your main job. And the main job is to win the World Cup. Okay. And not just Dhoni, every single Indian cricketer who is out there should stay focused. That is one of the reasons why the BCCI does not allow the wives and kids to go with the team right through the whole tour. They are allowed only for a small part. Why do they do that? So that the players stay focused.
All right.
And so let them stay focused.
We have very little time left. I want to take some quick closing comments from Vishal Appal, and then I'll go across to Colonel Arasan. Yes, Vishal.
Yeah, I'd just like to add, would we as Indians be okay if the Pakistan team wore the Pakistani army emblem on their jersey or their glove or something of that sort? We won't be okay. We won't be okay if the English team does that with their army symbols, if the Australians do it with their army symbols. So let's just keep the issues separate. Wear the Indian flag, wear your country's flag. That's the best representation of the country that you possibly and potentially can have. And then just stay focused on what you have to do, which is try and win the World Cup. Just before I close, I just want to wish the team all the very best again. Please don't get distracted by all this. Okay. Stay focused, stay the course, and win the World Cup.
All right. Colonel Arasan Singh, closing comments.
No, I think it's not an Indian Army symbol, and it is it is not even paras. This insignia belongs to the para commandos. And well, I mean, I have no issues if Pakistan let them wear. I mean, as it is, you can't miss out a Pakistani team. Let me tell you, whether it's emblem or no emblem. Okay. So I have no issues about it. You can't miss out on any of these teams. Whatever. And I think it's just I again say mountain has been created out of a mole. And it's I think the only people who are having objections are the Pakistanis. Okay. Otherwise, I don't think anybody has got issues with it. And I trust the wisdom of Mahendra Singh Dhoni. Apart from the fact that he's a Lieutenant Colonel in the Territorial Army, he's a very, very experienced cricketer. And I'm sure he has taken this step, in wisdom, and I back his wisdom.
All right. On that note, I think it's been a pretty engaging debate. I'd like to thank all of us, all our panelists, in fact, Colonel Arasin Singh, Vishal Uppal and Vedam Jaishankar for joining us on the News Night this evening. Thanks so much for watching.